New commitment for Notre Dame in the 2025 class. Tampa Jesuit 4-star running back Justin Thurman committing to Notre Dame over Florida, Tennessee, and many other offers. Tim, when you pop on the tape, what do you think about Justin Thurman and this kid for the Irish?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is he's fast as could be. So everyone likes to make fun of me when I say SEC speed. Well, Mike just said who he's recruiting, and it's all a lot of SEC schools. So this young man's got SEC speed, and by that, it's get the ball to him out there on the hash marks, get him out there on the perimeter, let him make plays, and this guy will go the distance in a blink of an eye. Is from what I see on his film.
All right, so let's take a little dive on into what Notre Dame is getting here. The rankings, you see the running backs ranking between 21 and 27. A couple of them as a 4-star. The interesting thing here, Tim, among other things with Thurman, is that he is from DeSmet High School in Jesuit, which is the same high school that Notre Dame plucked Jordan Johnson in the 2020 class. We don't need to talk about that. Christian Gray in the 2023 class. And then, this young man, Thurman, transferred to Tampa Jesuit for his sophomore year. And I have his stats pulled up here: 19 carries for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's according to Max Preps. I think that's correct. They had a senior running back who's, I believe, signed with Temple, Joquez Smith, who took kind of the lead carry. So you have the sophomore coming in, didn't get a ton, but this kid blew up in the spring, had a really good showing at the Orlando Under Armour camp, ran in the 4.5s, picked up a bunch of offers, and then went to Notre Dame in June. I had an Irish source tell me that he clocked in the 4.4s. So yeah, listed at 6 foot, 180 pounds. You're not looking at him as being like, wow, look at these numbers he's produced at the high school level just yet. But the testing for this kid, sub 11 seconds in the 100-meter dash as a sophomore in high school, which is just absurd. It's not so much a project, Tim, but you are projecting this to be a really good get for the Irish. I mean, he has some big time offers. He's a really good athlete, and he's someone who's going to explode on the field this year.
Oh yeah, I mean, exactly. Just to counter a few things you say, when you talk about athlete, he's playing special teams, plays defense. Obviously, he's playing running back. He's been in the eye. There's film of him out there where he's doing. When I said, get him the ball out there on the hash marks, meaning he's doing tons of jet sweeps. I could see this guy. A couple of the guys I thought about instantly is Chris Tyree. Chris Tyree's a running back who's now obviously going to play slot. And I went back to the early, Brian Kelly years with Theo Riddick, a guy that could run the ball off tackle and then be a heck of a slot. And obviously he played, tons of slot receiver in the NFL as well. So he reminded me of those two guys, all-purpose, multi-purpose type of guy. And then the biggie is his athleticism. Dude's fast, and we always got to talk about Mike. We say this all the time. He's class of 2025. All right, he's only been in high school for 2 years, so you're right. They're projecting him out, but that's also the same thing with all these other schools recruiting him. Like we were talking earlier, he's been to Florida twice, Tennessee twice, Notre Dame twice. He visited Alabama, Auburn. Like the entire SEC, he went and visited this spring. So for Notre Dame to close on him with 2 great visits this spring, it's a nice pickup. It's a nice pickup moving forward to see it, because he's got 2 more years, obviously, to develop. So I see him being an outstanding. I mean, look at that speed off the edge. Here he's playing DN, for crying out loud. So he's got a lot of skill development to keep growing, and he's a good looking prospect.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that he just transferred in. They're like, all right, we got to get this kid on the field somewhere. It might not be as our number 1 or number 2 back even, but just get him around the football as much as possible. Yes. Tim, I think my 2025 will be like my 6th recruiting class covering Notre Dame or something like that. In all my time covering Notre Dame, the most Notre Dame kid, we say that I like a Notre Dame type kid. This is by far the most Notre Dame kid I've ever interacted with, Tim. Going to or going from St. Louis de Smet Jesuit to Tampa Jesuit, right? I mean, Catholic school kid,
Yep.
the most polite young man, super smart, super polite, super bright. I mean, just a super young man. Been an absolute pleasure to cover him. And yeah, when I lived in Florida, I actually played against Tampa Jesuit, so I'm familiar for sure with this area. They spanked us my senior year. But again, yeah, just a really nice kid. Tim, I want to our last topic here: Notre Dame running back recruiting. I mean, gone are the days with Jafar Armstrong. I don't mean to throw shade at Jafar Armstrong, but that's like the elevation of who your lead back is now at Notre Dame, and just the recruiting. Going, I mean, 2019 Kyron Williams, right? 2020 Chris Tyree, 2021 Logan Diggs transferred out, but obviously a really talented back. Audric Estime, man, does he look fantastic in the clips we've seen of him at fall camp. He was also in that 21 class. 2022, Jadarian Price looks outstanding. Jabran Payne looks like he's a darn good back. Jeremiah Love might play a role this year. The tandem of Aeneas Williams and Keedron Young in 2024, two top of the board running back targets for the Irish, and then getting Justin Thurman in 2025, and they might take another back as well in this class. You got to be pretty pleased if you're an Irish fan looking at running back recruiting.
Oh, without a doubt, because you're O-line you, tight end you got guys on the edges, you got blockers, you got great physical football players in front. And it's something I know you and I have talked about before, when you and I started working together, was where are these running backs? Who are these guys? Why aren't these great running backs coming to Notre Dame? Because there was a period of Notre Dame recruiting at running back was like bad.
Dire, yeah.
It was bad. And now they're starting to get some NFL type athletes back there, are going to start getting the ball. Obviously, Chris Tyree's a heck of an athlete with his speed, and then obviously with Audric, the year everyone's expecting him to have. And then if he goes pro, boom, you got a bunch of dudes lining up right behind him, which is outstanding. So I like that they're getting a lot of really good, talented running backs that you could feed the ball to 20 times a game behind that line, which is exciting. And it's Notre Dame. So when you say O-line you, it should be running back you as well. Running back should be dying to come to Notre Dame to run behind these guys that are going to the NFL up in front of them. So it's exciting moving forward. And, just real quick on Justin, just some of the plays there. Really good high school football where he's at. His league is very competitive. His team had a really good playoff run last year. Some of the plays in that film was, they lost St. Thomas Aquinas, the big powerhouse down south. So really good high school football that he's going to in Florida, only going to get better these next 2 years. And it's a great, great pickup.
It just wasn't good a little over a decade ago when Tampa Jesuit played Mike Singer's high school. That competition wasn't so great. I did have 4 catches in that game, but
there you go. 4 catches, 19 yards. Not bad.
And a fumble recovery. I can recover the fumble. All right, well, that's going to do it for this video. Did not see this video turning in that direction. But yeah, that's the news. Justin Thurman, 4-star running back, Tampa Jesuit, originally from St. Louis de Smet, picking Notre Dame. Really an outstanding young man. You guys are going to really like hearing from him in future articles and hopefully even videos. Maybe we can get him on the show in the future too. But yeah, that's going to do it. I'm Mike Singer. He's Tim High. News is Justin Thurman picking the Irish. We'll catch you guys next time.